You know, I've been really lucky. My parents used to take my brother and I and throw us into a van and drive us around the country. I've probably seen every national park in the United States. I've even had the opportunity to travel through Europe, Asia, and take a road trip through South America. But you know, all that takes time, it takes money, and it takes quite a bit of planning. Sometimes all you want to do is just get out for the day, maybe spend a weekend with the family, or just see what's around. One of the things I always love to do when I travel is just go and spend the day wandering around, see what I can find. That's why I thought I'd introduce to you some trips you can do in a day that won't break the bank. So join me as I go day tripping. So this is a trip I found in Massapequa. It's a town on the South Shore of Long Island, New York. It's got everything. It's got sightseeing, it's got great places to eat, it's got my personal favorite, a whole lot of history. And it's right here on Merrick Road. You might not know it from looking at it, but this road is one of the oldest roads, east-west roads on southern Long Island. It used to be called the South Road and then the Old South Road. And it was the road that George Washington himself took on his 1790 tour of Long Island. For me, this is a walking tour, but feel free to drive. Just remember, it's a busy road, so stay safe and follow the streetlights.
This trip is about 1.3 miles each way and runs between Tackapausha Park on Washington Avenue and Park Boulevard, just west of Massapequa High School. To get here, take 135, the Seafood Oyster Bay Expressway, south to its end, and head east until you get to Tackapausha Park. Or, if you're coming in from the city, you can take the Long Island Railroad to the Seaford Station and walk south down Washington Avenue about 3/4 of a mile to Merrick Road. You can end your trip by continuing east past the Old Grays Church to Park Boulevard, turn left, and walk up to the Massapequa Park train station.
You know, I'm a sucker for historical markers. Doesn't matter where I am, what I'm doing, or where I'm going. I gotta stop and read them. And that's how I found this trip. I started noticing these markers all over the place, and I was amazed by the history they had to tell. It's a story of the founding of our country, visiting presidents, and Long Island elite. The trip's gonna start right here at Tackapausha Pond. It's one of the 2 nature preserves you're gonna see along this route. And if nature hiking is your thing, you could probably spend a whole day walking through this park.
You can follow Seaford Creek all the way up to Jerusalem Avenue. The whole trail, there and back, is nearly 4 miles. If you're going to do it, I recommend hitting up Sequa Deli on Jerusalem Avenue, so you can grab some lunch before heading back. And if hiking isn't your thing, you can visit the Tackapausha Museum Preserve, which is located just around the corner behind the ShopRite on Washington Boulevard. You can probably spend the entire day right here.
Alright, here we are on our next stop. We're on Hicksville Road, just a block north of Merrick Road, east of Tackapausha Park. And at one point, there was a marker here that told us about the original hotel built on this site in 1796. I got pictures to prove it. It was also a mustering site for the local militia, a stagecoach stop, and my favorite fact, Chester A. Arthur himself stayed here. Now, whenever I tell anybody that, the first question I get is, who the hell is Chester A. Arthur? Well, I'm going to tell you.
Chester A. Arthur was the 21st President of the United States after the assassination of James Garfield. He was a New Yorker who came up through the patronage system, who surprised everyone when, as president, he helped reform the civil service system into one that handed out political positions through merit rather than political affiliation. To learn more about Chester A. Arthur, I provided some links in the description below. Okay, before we begin, we're going to have to get some food. And there's only one place to do that. It's the All-American Drive-In, or we simply call All-American. Every person who I told that I was doing this project said you have to include All-American. It's the iconic burger stand in the region. They've been here since 1963, serving burgers by their original recipe in a restaurant that hasn't changed a bit since then. Personally, I never come to Long Island without getting one of their knishes. Right down the street from All-American, just past the 7-Eleven, you'll find the Jones Cemetery. Buried here, you'll find a member of the New York delegation to ratify the U.S. Constitution and a Revolutionary War hero.
When you're in school, they teach about the Revolutionary War, but they tend to gloss over the people who fought and lived during the time. For me, when you come here and you see these gravestones, I don't know, it just makes it seem like more real. Like you can actually just reach out, touch history, and sort of know that these people, they were once alive. And, in 100 years, this is where we're going to be. And it's easy to imagine what it was like when their families were laying them to rest.
A block east of the Jones Cemetery is the Massapequa Preserve. It's on the north side of Merrick Road and easy to drive right past if you're not paying attention.
This lake right here, Massapequa Lake, and the surrounding preserve was left to us by David Jones. And he built this lake and the island out there for his wife. And that's where we get the island's name, Mary's Island.
The Jones family story began right here in 1695 when Major Thomas Jones was given this land by his father-in-law, and he built the first brick house out on the eastern part of Long Island. Remember, back then, anything east of the East River was considered untamed wilderness. As an added day trip, you can come here to spend a day fishing or hiking the longest trail in Nassau County. That goes all the way up to Cold Spring Harbor on the north side of Long Island. Walking along these trails, you're walking in the footsteps of the naturalist, Walt Whitman.
Here we are at the end of our walk, at the Historic Society of the Massapequas, or the Historic Complex. This is at the Old Grace Church. The church was established in 1849 with the help of the Floyd Jones family. And it's a cemetery that's still in use today.
Behind the Old Grace Church, you'll find the Floyd Jones Cemetery. Here, you'll find the headstone of Major Thomas Jones, who died in 1713, the namesake of Jones Beach and the founder of the Jones family. The story is that he was a pirate who married the daughter of an influential and wealthy family, but after some research, I think his story is far more interesting. After fighting in the Battle of Boyne, a significant battle between King James II and William of Orange for control of the English throne, Major Thomas came to the Americas where he began a career as a privateer. Although some may call this piracy, it was piracy with government approval. As always, when viewing a cemetery, remember to do so with respect. Don't be too loud, don't leave any trash, and use the old saying, take only memories and leave only footprints.
Alright, so if you've done the whole walk and you've seen everything there is to see, you've probably worked up quite the appetite by now. If you continue down the block here to the corner, you'll find Al's Barbecue. And if barbecue isn't your thing, well, there's plenty of restaurants down there. Well, now I've only covered just a few of the markers and only a little bit of the history of the area. So if you're interested in learning more, I provided some links in the description below. And if you like what I'm doing, just like my video, subscribe to me. I'd love to bring you more day trips. And if you stop at any of the restaurants I've mentioned, tell them Doug from Day Tripper sent you. They may not care or know who the hell I am. Tell them anyway. Have a safe trip, and until next time, this is Doug Johnson with Day Tripper.